Hello there, welcome to my channel. My name is Kelsey, and today I'm going to guide you through a gentle yoga practice that you can do in your PJs in something super comfy, super cozy. So we're not going to be doing any strenuous movements. We're not going to be focusing on strength so much in this class as we are on getting a good stretch. So there's no reason to wear your workout clothes, your yoga set, unless you just really want to. And we're going to go ahead and get started in a gentle hip opener in our Baddha Konasana, butterfly. I'll turn sideways so it's a little bit easier for you to see. Bring the soles of your feet together and your knees apart. Start to walk your fingertips forward from here. Allow your spine to round. Allow your shoulders and your arms to be heavy and let go of the weight of your head here. Taking a few breaths to arrive in your practice, closing your eyes. And so this practice will be really nice if maybe you feel a little bit sore or tired. Maybe you've just rolled out of bed. Or maybe you're heading off to sleep. At this point, now you can start to multitask a little bit, still focusing on your breath, but also honing in on an intention for your practice. Your reason why for getting on your mat at this time. On an inhale, lift your upper body up just a little bit so that you can walk your hands over to the right, reaching your left hand a little bit further than your right, and then bowing forward again. Sensing this a little bit more in your left lower back. And while you're breathing here, still thinking about what your intention might be today. Next breath in, lifting up a little bit so that you can walk your hands through center. This time we're going to walk the hands off to the left side, reaching through the right hand and folding down again. You might also feel this a little bit more through the outer hips. Next breath in, lifting your head, walking your hands back through center, and then coming all the way back to upright. From here, pull your left heel closer in towards your groin and extend your right leg long. And then open your left hip a little bit more out towards the left so that you're going to be facing kind of catty corner towards the front left corner of your mat. Flex back through your right toe so you're activating the top of the right thigh, and then you could place your hand on top of the leg or to either side of the leg. We're taking a side bend here, breathing in to reach that left hand out and up, and then exhale to take it into the side bend. If you could hold on to your foot, maybe you grab there, or again, just resting your arm to the inside or outside of the leg. You might close your eyes as you breathe into that left side, really sensing the opening there. Now, next breath in, start to look towards your right foot. Reach the left hand towards that foot. It doesn't have to touch. We're going to frame the hands over the leg and then take a twisted forward bend over the right leg. So again, here you might Get a little bit more into the left lower back and left side body while still opening up through this right hamstring. You can always put a little bend in that right knee. One more breath in. And exhale, press into your hands, walk them back in. From here, place that left hand behind you. Place your right hand to the outside of your left thigh. Inhale, lift your heart. Exhale, pull that left shoulder back, look back behind you. A little twist here. Next exhale, place that left hand down about a foot away from your left hip. Press into your legs, reach the right arm overhead as you lean the upper body back and lift your hips forward and up. Exhale to stay here. Inhale again. And then exhale, softly settle your hips back down to your mat. We're just going to go to the other side. I'm going to turn the other way so I can stay facing you. This time your right heel comes in towards your groin and you're opening that right hip out a little bit more so you're kind of facing catty corner, and then flexing back through the left toes. The left leg is mostly straight. If you need to put a little bend in that knee, you're welcome to. Starting with the side bend, left hand and left arm on top of the leg. Inhale, right hand out and up. Breathe in, find space. And then exhale, lean over towards the left. And so maybe by now you have focused in on your intention for your practice. But if nothing is coming to you, that's totally okay. You can always have the intention to simply stay focused with your breath. Just having that intention, that focus can go a really long way in the experience that you have on your mat, and also the experience that you have off of your mat. One more breath in here. And then exhale, let's reach the right hand towards your left foot, frame your hands over your left leg, and then fold down towards this left leg. Really, no matter what your intention is today, we can all practice staying focused on our breath. Letting that guide our movements. Next breath in, lifting your head and walking your hands back towards you, back to upright. Then we'll place the right hand behind us, left hand to the outside of the right thigh. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, twist away from the left hip. Notice if this left hip kind of wants to lift up, ground down through that left hip. And then twist along your spine. From here, plant the right hand about a foot away from your right hip. Inhale the left arm up and press into your legs to lift your hips. Lean back for your baby wild thing. Exhale to stay here. And then one more breath in. Exhale. Settle the hips down. From here, bring your hands behind you, facing the shorter edge of your mat. Soles of your feet touching down on the mat. And be sure that you're lifting up through the front of the body a little bit here, not crashing too much into the shoulders. Bring your feet about the width of your mat, and then you're going to let your knees drop side to side, little knee tick-tocks. Your knees may not touch the ground. You don't need to force them down. Just let them drop over to one side to the degree that's comfortable in your body. And then the opposite way. Going a few more rounds on each side, a few more breaths like this. Really let the breath fuel the movement. Last round here. And then you'll bring your legs back up through center, cross at the ankles, bring your hands in front of you, and you could roll over your knees or just send your hips to one side and make your way into tabletop pose. Hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips. And before we do a more traditional cat and cow, let's just take the hips in circles. So moving the hips towards the right, sending them back towards the heels, not quite to a child's pose, but just in that direction, and then hips to the left, and then hips rock forward a little bit past the knees. You might also get a nice stretch into the wrists as you do this. So going in this direction a few times, still moving with your breath, slow and steady here. I imagine if you chose to do this PJ practice or this comfy practice, then you're not looking to do too much strenuous work. And keeping that in mind as we move our body. Moving with a gentleness and care. Let's reverse. Taking the hips the opposite way. You might hear some little pops or cracks. That's normal as long as you're not feeling any pain whenever those pops happen. Coming back into center, replant your hands and your knees, and then a more traditional cat and cow. Breathing in to lift your sits bones, drop your belly, pull your heart through and lift your head. And then exhale, chin towards your throat, round your spine, scoop your pelvis forward as you draw your navel in. A few more like this, breathe in. Exhale, cat pose. Right on time, Turkey's making her way into the yoga room. Hello. Exhale into your cat. About 2 more here. And pet your furry friend if you have one nearby. Inhale back to your neutral spine, tuck your toes under. We're going to sit the hips back towards the heels for a little toe stretch. So you may choose to keep your hands out in front of you and send more of the weight into your hands if stretching the feet like this feels really intense or even painful. If you feel pretty comfortable here, let's walk the hands onto the thighs. You could even take your hands to the pinky toe, make sure that they don't escape this wonderful stretch for the feet. And then while we're here, we're going to reach that right hand up into the air, turn the palm to face back, and then bring that hand towards about the nape of your neck or reach it to the space between your shoulder blades. From here, place your left hand on top of the right elbow. Press the elbow in towards the midline of the body. Keep breathing here. Exhale, release. Let's just switch sides. If your feet are feeling the intensity of this pose right now, you always have the option to untuck. Otherwise, keeping the toes tucked, reach that left hand up. Then the elbow hand goes towards the nape of the neck or towards the center of the shoulder blades. And then right hand goes on top of the left elbow. I always get my rights and my lefts mixed up at least one time whenever I'm teaching. A few breaths here. Really breathing through these 2 intense stretches. Inhale, release both arms. Bring your hands back out in front of you now. Untuck your toes. Bring the big toes together to touch, widen the knees apart, and then send your hips to sit back towards your heels for your child's pose. Reach your arms forward, lower your forehead to your mat. And so this can feel really nice on the ankles. After having the toes tucked, stretching a little bit more through the front of the shins and the ankles. And also here, getting into the hips, the lower back. Make sure you're not clenching any of the muscles in your face or your neck here. Everything softening and relaxing. Now next breath in, lift your head, look towards your hands. We're going to exhale, shift forward into our Sphinx pose. So the elbows drop underneath the shoulders. Forearms are parallel to one another, palms face down. Reach back through your toes, press down through the tops of your feet, press down through your pubic bone. Lift your heart, reach up to the crown of your head. Feel as though you're pulling your heart space between your arms, kind of like you do in your cow pose. And your gaze can go down past your nose, or you could close your eyes, feeling this opening in the front of your body. Breathing into your low abdomen. And while we're still here in this Sphinx pose, we'll take a half frog, bend that right knee out to the right, toes point to the right. Try to get the knee in line with your hip. A few breaths on this side. Switching sides, slide the right leg back, still in Sphinx in the upper body, bend the left knee out, toes point towards the left, try to get the knee up in line with your left hip. A few breaths here. One more breath in. Exhale, slide your left leg back. And from here, we'll come into a laying chest opener. Open wing, right arm goes out beside you, palm face down. I want you to try to make sure that your wrist and your elbow are about the same height as your right shoulder. Turn your right ear down to your mat, bring your left hand under your left shoulder, and then press into your left hand to roll over onto the right side. For this variation today, I want you to keep your legs stacked, and then you could stay right here if this is enough for you, or you could bend your left knee. Heel is going towards the left glute, and then reach back with your left hand, grab a hold of the top of the left foot, or maybe the ankle, and gently press your left heel in towards your glute, opening through your chest, and then opening through the front of the left hip and the quad. So this again can feel quite intense, breathing through the sensations. Next, exhale, release the hold of your left foot. Bring your left hand in front of you, roll back to center. And we're just going to do that on the opposite side. Left arm reaches out beside you, palm down. Turn your left ear to the mat and roll over onto your left side. Let that left ear rest down, let the head relax. Either keeping your legs straight and stacked for today's variation, or bending the right knee, reach that right hand to the top of the foot or to the ankle. Make sure that you're not lifting your knee towards the ceiling. Lengthen your tailbone down. A few breaths here. One more breath in. And exhale to release. Bring that right hand in front of you to slowly roll back to the right. And then from here, let's just roll over onto the back for our last couple of poses before we take rest in Shavasana. So scooting yourself back to the center of your mat. First, moving into our happy baby. Draw your knees in towards your body. You might stay here today if you're feeling any tightness in the lower back or if this causes pain for your lower back and your hips. Otherwise, widen your knees apart. Squeeze the knees in, maybe holding on here, your shins, your ankles, or your feet somewhere. I'm taking peace fingers to big toes, drawing the thighs down towards the sides of my ribs. And if you wanted to get a little bit more into the hamstrings before we close our practice, you could alternate the bends of your knees, extending one leg and then switching sides. It's kind of like a piston motion. So as one leg goes long, the other leg bends more. Breathing through the entire experience. Coming back into center, let go of what you're holding on to. Bring your legs back together. Open your arms out into a T shape or a cactus shape and let both of your knees drop over to your left now. I like to place my left hand on top of my right knee or right thigh, just for a sense of grounding. And if you wanted to get a little bit more of a stretch into the IT band or the glute, you could straighten your right leg and grab a hold of the right foot along the edge of the foot. One more breath in. Exhale, bend the right knee. Return everything to center. And then you can just drop your legs to the right this time. Again, my right hand is resting on top of my left knee, my left thigh. Opening through your chest, twisting along your spine. And if you wanted to explore that deeper stretch into the IT band and the glute, grabbing a hold of the left foot and extending the left leg. One more breath in. Exhale, let go of what you're holding on to. Bring both your knees back up. Release your feet down to your mat. And then similar to what we started practice with, for these last few breaths, if you want, you can bring your feet together, knees go apart. Letting the hips open with the support of gravity. This can also feel really nice in the lower back. For this last little bit of time, reminding yourself what your intention is. And then whenever you feel complete with this hip opener, just extend your legs long. Once again, pet your furry friend if they happen to be nearby you. And then we'll rest in Shavasana for a little bit of time. And I know it can be tempting to just turn off the video at this point. but this really is the most important part of your practice, resting in the space that you've created for yourself. And it really doesn't take much time at all. You'll hear my voice whenever it's time to come back into the space. Enjoy your Shavasana. Remaining just as you are, start to bring your awareness back to your breath. Feel the way that your breath moves your body. Start to wiggle fingers and toes, wrists and ankles, bending your knees, nodding your head side to side. Maybe you yawn. Maybe one more big full body stretch, reaching your arms long as you breathe in and breathing out to let it all go. From here, pull your knees into your body, rock a little bit side to side. And whenever you feel ready, you can roll over to one side before pressing your way up to a seat. There's no rush. I'm not sure if you could hear turkeys purring. I hope it wasn't bothersome. Alrighty, when you arrive in your upright seat, closing your eyes one more time, acknowledge how you feel. Connect to a sense of gratitude for yourself for prioritizing your practice. And acknowledging that you didn't have to put on anything special, you didn't have to do anything special, you just had to show up exactly as you are. Remind yourself of your intention, maybe taking it with you into the rest of your day as you bring your palms together in front of your heart, Anjali Mudra. Closing with one chant of Om, wherever you are with your breath, release the air, empty out. Take a big breath in through your nose. Exhale to chant. Om. Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me today and allowing me to guide you. Thank you, Turkey, for also showing up for the practice. Let me know how this practice went for you in the comments down below. I always appreciate hearing your feedback. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. I put out a new class like this every single Sunday, sometimes during special occasions, an extra one throughout the week. And sometimes Turkey likes to show up and practice with us. Alrighty. I'll see you on the mat next time. Namaste.